All right, we are thick in the middle of a messy season right now. We are in the messy middle, as I've been calling it. And I know I've talked about this a million times in all the platforms, on Instagram, on Substack, in my motivation minis. I've been talking about being in this huge transition phase. It's because it's all I can talk about right now. It's so mentally consuming. And I feel like if I did not create my content around this topic of being in a transitional phase in your life and in the messy middle and like feeling behind and all of those if I didn't talk about that, I would not be creating content right now because it is all I can think about. So we're taking the wins when we can, okay, people? But being in this messy middle, I've been leaning on all the resources that I can, books, podcasts, videos, and ChatGPT. And I went on to ChatGPT.
Anyway.
I went to talk to my good old friend Chat, right? I asked for some actionable tips that you would give a friend who's going through a transitional season in life. And I was really surprised when I saw the list because I'm already doing a lot of these. And I'm like, okay, girl, you're not struggling as bad as you thought, okay? Like, I had to give myself a pat on the back because we are going through it, friends. And so when I saw this list and I was like, oh, I'm doing that. Oh, I'm doing that. Oh, I'm doing that. Oh, I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay. And so I guess it was a little validating for me and I needed that. So I thought, okay, maybe I'll make a video on this and share these tips because if someone else is going through it, maybe they're not doing these things and maybe they'll find some value in adding these things into their lives during this messy middle transitional phase. Life is a dumpster fire season of life. So I want to share some of these actionable tips and how I'm incorporating some of them into my life. So if you are in a big transitional phase in your life, I hope that this helps. Also, we switched up our microphone yet again. I have so many microphones and tripods, like, tell me you're a creator without telling me you're a creator. Okay, so I have the list here so that I can reference it so I don't forget anything. But these first few are about grounding yourself in stability. Number 1. Stick to a simple routine. So like, even if life feels chaotic, like having small little habits to focus on, to stick to. And like, I am just like such a firm believer and I thrive with having a routine. So like, even when I was like doing part-time van life and I was on the road, like it was so important to me to have a little routine. And it obviously wasn't the same as like when I was home and not in a tiny van, but routine is like, I thrive. I need it. I don't feel like myself if I don't have some sort of routine, even if it is just like drinking a tea in the sun and doing 5 minutes of stretching. Like, we need some routine. Second one was declutter and organize. I'm currently decluttering so much right now, and it is slightly overwhelming, more than slightly overwhelming, but I'm doing it in small little like bite-sized moments, So I'll like set a 30-minute timer and then do 30 minutes of just decluttering. Like I'll just tackle my books today and we'll go through my books. Like we're in the life overhaul phase, friends. It's a lot. But for me, decluttering, like after it's done, after like the chaotic part is done, I feel so much lighter. I'm like, oh, why didn't I do that sooner? You know what I mean? So just like decluttering and organizing. 3, create a comfort corner. I love this so much. Like a cozy little corner with like just a chair and like some books, candles, like fuzzy blanket, like a cozy corner. Just filled with things that soothe you. And I have a little L couch and at the end of it, that's where like the bookshelf is and it has a little rock salt lamp and that's where I do my meditations and that's where I do my reading when I am reading, which I did read today. Let's like all give a round of applause for me because I actually read for 25 minutes today. Like, I'm sorry. I know. But anyway, that's become my little cozy corner and I have my little soft blanket, like my little favorite blankets there. And I just put my noise canceling headphones on and it's like a vibe. I know not everyone has like massive spaces where they can just like create this like home library, you know what I mean? But it's about getting creative with the space that you do have. And that's what I've had to learn to do over the years in the different places that I've lived. Popping in from the future, just made my smoothie after finishing this video, but I think I'm going to make a little PDF or something available with all of these all on one sheet that you can grab as a little freebie if you want, because I think it's a good little list to have if you are someone that's finding these valuable. I think that having them all in one list that you can reference or even just like screenshot and keep on your phone could be really valuable. So once I figure out how to do that, I will leave the link in the description for you. 4 is practicing deep breathing. And I do this a lot during my meditation. I'm just like trying to focus on my breath. So I do it then, but also I've been getting back into a routine of doing it at bedtime. I'm someone that struggles really bad with like falling asleep. Like it takes me like 5 hours to fall asleep. And so I was in a really good habit of like doing breathing exercises when I'm laying in bed. So I put on like I listen to a Get Sleepy podcast. It is my favorite podcast. I found it ages ago, and there's one guy that does them, Thomas, and he has like a British accent. But since I started listening to it, they now have like other people with other accents. I prefer Thomas. He's like the OG guy that created it. I just like his voice is so soothing to me. And so I've learned over the years that I like falling asleep to an elder British man's voice. So I don't know what's up with that. Like, give me a David Attenborough to fall asleep to, you know? Anyway, so I've been practicing deep breathing during bedtime and doing the exercise like inhale 4, pause for 7, exhale 8. Honestly, you do that, you focus on doing that for like 5 minutes. It like regulates my breathing to mimic like what my breathing is when I'm sleeping. I don't know. It does something scientifical. Scientifical? It does something. It does something because like it like signals to my body like we're sleeping. It is so crazy to me that like breath work is so impactful on our body and like our nervous system and all those things. Like the more I learn about it, and so I've been really wanting to do more breath work and all of that kind of stuff, but like I said, our mental health is hanging on by a thread right now, so we're gonna do what we can and not like dive into like deep diving into all these new habits and hobbies right now, okay? So the breath work will come. Number 5, limit your social media and news intake. I don't know if we've been doing this one. Too much external noise can amplify uncertainty and comparison. I agree 100%. But sometimes social media, when you're in these transitional phases, it serves as a great distraction when you need it. Yeah, I don't know. I think you have to tread lightly. Like I know I do. I speak for myself. I have to tread lightly because if I'm using social media too much, it impacts me negatively. But I do believe that there's a time and a place where it serves as a good way for me to focus on something else instead of allowing myself to spiral. So user discretion, but you know yourself best, and you know when you are using social media too much. You know. You don't need me to tell you. You know your limits, and you know when it's starting to impact you in a negative way. You know when you're going down the comparison spiral, okay? I don't need to tell you this, okay? You just have to start setting the boundaries. And I know for me, I have to do that because social media will eat you alive. It will. And like that's what they designed it to do. Like be little dopamine addicts. That's what they're just feeding the monster they created. Okay, this next section is all about shifting your mindset. Number 1 in this section is journaling daily, like writing down your thoughts, your wins, your fears, or using journal prompts. It's something I've been doing lately. I had a little journaling session at the cafe and it was really nice. I was going to go and do another one today, but I have an anxious dog here and I always feel so guilty even if I just leave the house for an hour while the dogs are here. So in the only leave when I really have to. But it's like I don't need to go to a cafe to do a journaling session, you know? So I might actually still do one later today. I've also been using Mr. Chat to help with journal prompts, like relative to what I'm going through in my current season and like being in the messy middle. And it's been really, really helpful. I explained all of this like in my vlog on a reflective morning in my life, like that's a little bit of an insight on how I'm using journaling in this season right now. But journaling is something that I lean on in heavy seasons of life. And I spoke on this in my video where I broke down habits and like how I categorize my habits from like fluid habits to fixed habits, and the habits that are more of like a non-negotiable in my routine, and the ones that I pick and choose when I want to use them, like meditation and journaling. And in seasons like this is when I lean on those things because they're more of like a fluid habit in my life. It really, reframing my habits in this way has really helped me so much. So if you are someone that's like all or nothing with your habits and routines, I highly recommend watching that video. I'll put it on the screen. Okay? I can't remember all the titles and names of my videos, okay? Number 2 in this section is reframe negative thoughts. So something like, my life's never going to get better, or I have no idea what's next. You can be like, I'm open to new possibilities. And like this one, I've been really trying. I have been really trying on this one, but it's a hard one. When you're in these hard seasons, it's hard to be positive, and it's hard to see the light at the end of the tunnel because it just feels never ending. And it feels like, wow, I'm in such a mess right now. How am I going to dig myself out of this? I don't know, but like one foot in front of the other. That's all I can say, okay? Because I don't know how I'm going to get out of it. So I can't give you any tips on how you're going to get out of it, okay? All I know is that you have to show up and do your best every single day and put one foot in front of the other. And then eventually, like surely, we'll start to see the little flicker of a light at the end of it. Surely, one foot in the front of the other. And eventually, we will see the light at the end of the tunnel. Please, I need to see the light. We will get through this video. Yeah, reframing your negative thoughts, or at least just being more aware of how often you're having negative thoughts, and like probably all day, because even if you're not in a hard season, we are wired to focus on the negative. So it's just a survival mechanism that is no longer serving us to our fullest potential, but it's still there. Our caveman brains have not adopted, and we are suffering for it. I am in a mood, you guys. This microphone's doing something. It's just like bringing out the sassy. Number 3 in this section is make a list of past wins. This is not something that I've done, but it is something I'm planning to do. I'm actually working on something, and this is a part of it. Like just focusing on your past wins. When you're in these kind of seasons, it's so easy to just focus on how crappy life is and like how bad you feel and how much is going wrong. And like that in return can just make you feel like crap about yourself, right? And you can just have all this like self-doubt and like just questioning yourself and who you are. Focusing on your past wins, what it can do is just remind you what you've already overcome. It can remind you what you've already achieved. It can remind you of like, you are that girl, okay? Even if you don't feel like it right now.
And I don't feel like it right now, I'm not gonna lie.
But, reminding myself of the past wins, I think can be a really powerful exercise. So I am looking forward to doing that because we need it. We need it right now, okay? We need it. Another one that I'm planning to do as well is write a letter to your future self. Reassure yourself that things will work out. And it's just like getting in that future headspace of like, where you want to be. It's like focusing forward instead of focusing on the past and focusing on what you don't have. It's like focusing on like the possibilities of what could be. I think that can be really helpful as well. So those 2 exercises are something that I have not done, but I am planning to do. And I think that they can be really impactful if you really like allow yourself to like be in them and really do them properly. Not just half-ass it, okay? This one is a good one. Adopt an experiment mindset. So view this phase as a time to try new things rather than figure it out. And I don't know, I guess I have an experiment mindset is really fun to play in because, I don't know, it's like you're playing in the space of like, who do I want to be? Like, I don't know. It's like reinventing yourself. Like, I feel like it's like, maybe I'll switch up my hairstyle. Maybe I'll switch up my nose ring. That's something I've been wanting to do. I need to get a new nose ring. I ordered one offline and it was too big. The gauge was too big. And I think this is a 10. I don't even know. Because like the higher they go, like 8 is bigger than a 10, or is 10 bigger than 8? I'm not Sure. Like it doesn't have a clasp to close, so there's like a little opening right here, and it gets caught on my nose on the inside, and so I'm constantly having to turn it, and it looks like I'm picking my nose. A cute one. I got one that has like bling on it. It was like diamond studded rose gold. But it almost feels too flashy, but I'm like, this is the experiment phase. So let's try something new. Let's try a new look. Anyway, adopt an experiment mindset. So like, I don't know, have fun with it. Like, let's switch it up. Let's try something new. Let's pick up a new hobby. Let's like I don't know, just try a new genre or something. Like, switch it up. Experiment. Like, look at this phase as a phase that's giving you the opportunity to experiment and try something that you maybe always have wanted to try to do. This is, again, something that I've been kind of dabbling in. Like, I went to this like open paint class, and that was nerve-wracking but really, really fun. I'm glad I did it, even though I was the only one there, but it was like a vibe. I went on a solo day trip. I've just been doing different things. I've been switching it up. It's been good. I've been, I took a ferry by myself. Like, I am that girl, even if I don't feel like it, okay? The next section is all about taking small actions. When you're in these seasons and it's heavy and you're feeling down, doing anything, taking any action is a win in itself. You know what I mean? So take these with a grain of salt. You got to do what you got to do each day, but I do think that there is power in learning how to show up for yourself in little ways when you are in these dark seasons. And if it sounds like I'm a broken record saying this, it's because I am, because I feel like it is so important to learn how to do this. Oh, it's so beneficial if you do learn how to do this, and it will just carry you through so many seasons in life, because like, this is life, and every season's not, sunshine and rainbows. There's hard seasons, and there will be more, unfortunately. There will be more. And learning how to be able to self-soothe and just have your own back, and like building up your resilience, like that's going to carry you so far in life. Anyway, on to the section of taking small actions. Number 1, do one thing you've been avoiding. For me, that was like decluttering. I just got rid of my broken treadmill, and it's been sitting there looking me in the eye, like collecting dust. It's out of the room, and the room just has opened up, and I do miss my treadmill so much. I'm thinking about getting a walking pad, but I do miss my treadmill, but it's just like decluttered. It's gone. I can breathe. And yeah, so there's been little things that I'm like, I've put off, that I'm just like, just do it. Just do it. Just do it today. Just do it now. Just get it done. Just set a 5-minute timer and start taking action towards the thing you've been putting off. Maybe you don't complete the task today, but if you set the 5-minute timer, you got the ball rolling, okay? So it's like, do something. Do something that you've been avoiding, and start to take some action towards it. You don't have to complete the whole task today. Take it in small bite sizes. Set the 5-minute timer and do what you can, and then come back to it in a day or two. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to do the most. It's just about doing something. Another small action is try a new hobby. Me, I've been getting back into writing, which I guess this is like experimenting, new hobby. It's not really new, but I've just been getting back into writing, and it's been really fun. I've been getting back into painting, and I've just been tapping back into my hobbies, and that's been really fun. Hobbies are so fun. It's like just so fun. Like, I don't know. I feel like I could just like live my life just doing all the hobbies and like drinking tea and being a hobby girl. I really like would love to one day have my own little like hobby studio, like in my house, like a whole room or a little like garden shed or something that's like dedicated to hobbies. A wall that just has all sorts of like clay and watercolor and acrylic and canvas and paintbrushes and all that kind of stuff, but also has like a cozy zone where I can like do some meditations and drink tea, and then like a little built-in like library nook for books, and then it's just a vibe. Like, doesn't that sound like so much fun? One day my little hobby studio is going to be so fun. It's going to be such a vibe. It's going to be a vibe, okay? It's going to be a vibe. You're all invited. We can do a little paint and sip. It'll be so fun. It'll be so fun. Another small action is move your body. Moving your body is obviously going to be beneficial in any season of life. Moving your body it's just like, I'm so passionate about this. Like, we owe it to ourselves to move our body, and we owe it to ourselves to find different ways that we enjoy moving our body, because it doesn't have to look like how it looks like for this person or that person. I've really obviously gotten into enjoying walking. Since my injury, I haven't been able to work out in the ways that I used to. And so leaning into walking, it felt like, oh, this isn't even a workout, but I've really like embraced it, so much so that I'm doing the whole 1 year walking challenge. There is so much available at our fingertips that there really is no excuse. There is no excuse. Like, now we have walking pads that like can fit under your bed or your couch. There's so many different ways to move your body. You just have to put in the work to figure out what is the one that you enjoy, and that is like flexible for you to work into your life. And this isn't about like being someone that moves their body 5 days a week, this and that, but it's just like honoring that part of your body that like needs that. Like, movement is something that we need. It's not even optional, and that's the thing. It's just like, as we age, there are repercussions. Is that the word I'm thinking of? There's consequences. As we age, there are actually consequences that come about from not being more active or not moving our bodies and not prioritizing that in our life. And this isn't to say to go out and be an athlete, but just a 10 to 30-minute walk, 3 times a week can go a long way. And just like, there is such a big correlation in how we honor movement in our lives and how we age as we get older, and being able to, for me, like, travel more. I want to be able to travel as I age. And if I'm not looking after my body, it's going to be real hard. There might be some complications in my health and my restrictions in my movement if I'm not looking after my body now. So when I look at movement these days, I'm looking at it as a preventative as well as an outlet for me to just manage my mental health, because my mental health definitely benefits from movement. Anyway, that's my little tangent when it comes to movement. So let that be your reminder to move your body. Next one is explore a new place. I've been doing this a lot, going to different cafes that I've never been to, or, my little day trips. I tried out that class with the painting, and I have a couple of places. I started like a new running list of like places to try, or just like parks around here that to just go for a walk or have a picnic or go read a book or something like that. Like, it doesn't have to cost money. It doesn't have to be like, I'm going to try a new restaurant this week. It doesn't have to be that, but like just switching up the scenery, going somewhere new, like seeing a new place. Like, for me, it is so healing to experience a new place. I don't know. I love it. And that's why I love my little solo day trips and stuff like that. And just getting out of the house, going to the city, and, going somewhere new in the city that I haven't been. Things like that. Like, I think that there's so many different ways that you can apply this to your life. The last one in this section is create a vision board. Now, this is something that I usually lean into doing at the end of the year or the beginning of the year, or whatever way you want to look at it. I think it can help you really just set the intentions for what you want the year to look like, or what you are working towards, like, or what the actions you are planning to take this year, like the bigger vision of it all. I feel like that can be so valuable. But when you're in these transitional phases and your life feels like it's been flipped upside down, I do think that that is also a perfect opportunity to reinvent what you want it to look like, and like tap back into that vision, and paint the picture of what you want it to look like with a vision board. So I did create a vision board going into this year, and it is the desktop on my phone and my computer. But yeah, that's not something I have done like in recent times, but I did do it to go into this year. Now, this next section is about embracing the journey. And I feel like this can be one of the most challenging parts when life feels heavy or it's a big transition. The first one is one that I am actively doing, and that is documenting the experience. So this doesn't have to mean like vlogging the experience like I am and putting it out there for the world to see. It can just mean journaling the experience or doing video diaries on your phone for yourself with no intention to share it to anyone. But yeah, documenting the experience in some way, or just with photos, like documenting your life, doing little photo dumps on Instagram. There's so many different ways, a scrapbook, like there's so many ways where you can document the experience. I am excited to be able to look back on this phase that I'm in right now and just reminisce on how far I've come. So documenting the journey is a good way to embrace the journey. Another way to embrace the journey is to say yes to something new. Just say yes. Just say yes. I had a friend recently invite me out to an outing with a bunch of other people, and I'm in the thick of transition. My mental health is all over the place, and there's a lot of days where I don't feel like going out or being social or talking to anyone or replying to messages. I just don't feel like doing it. Like it's been a while since I picked up the camera. I'm not even gonna lie. Like and like did a sit down video. There was a part of me that was just like, I don't want to go. I don't want to do this. I don't want to socialize. I don't want to put on a happy face. I don't want to do it. Get someone else to do it. But I said yes because there was a part of me that wanted to go. As time went on, the part of me that wanted to go and the part of me that didn't want to go, it was kind of like half and half. And so I just was like, you know what? I'm going to say yes because there's a good chance that I'm going to step out the door. And once I get there, I'm going to be glad that I came. And that's exactly what happened. I am glad that I went and got out of the house and got some fresh air, switched up the environment, switched up the conversation, put myself in a social setting where I had to talk to other humans. I'm proud of myself for doing that in a season where I just want to stay in bed all day. Okay, so saying yes to new things, saying yes to not new things, saying yes more, and just like putting yourself out there in little ways. Number 3 in this embracing your journey is giving yourself grace. And this is so much easier said than done. Let's be real with it. Giving yourself grace when you're in this heavy season and it's just like you're second guessing everything. You're just like, well, I should have seen this coming, and why didn't I do this, and blah 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 blah. You're just picking yourself apart. Okay, I'm not going to say you are. I'm going to say I am. There's self-doubt. There's all these things in the back of your head. And it's so easy to lean into all the things that you aren't doing, all the things you don't have, all this, all that. But you need to step back, Jamie. I'm talking to myself right now. You need to take a step back and you need to give yourself grace because, first of all, you are a human experiencing life for the very first time. There is no rule book. You don't know what the hell you're doing, okay? Maybe you might be 37, but you don't know what you're doing and you're figuring it out day by day, and that is okay. It's like each day that passes, you are gaining more information to make better decisions than the day before. And like you are just doing the best that you can do. So give yourself grace every now and then. Me and also you. The next one, I don't know. It's making me feel a type of way because I don't know how much control people have over this, and that is surround yourself with supportive people. Talk to friends, join a community, or follow people that inspire you. Now, the good part to this, sorry, there's a helicopter going over my head. The good part to this is that the internet exists. So, there's people out there, there's communities out there that you can, join, but it's not in person. And like, sometimes you just need that in-person community. And, speaking from my personal experience living abroad, I don't have the biggest community here. I get less than a handful of friends here now. Yeah, it can feel lonely when you move abroad. Like there's so many seasons. I've gone through so many seasons, ups and downs, where I feel like I have a big supportive community here, and then some seasons where it just feels a little quiet. And sometimes I really thrive in that and I enjoy that, but sometimes you just need to feel like you do have that community, but it's not always the case given your circumstances. So, I do think it's important to try and find the community where you can. So it's like, going to things like meetup events and putting yourself out there, saying yes to things when, you are having the opportunity to try something is obviously a good way to start building more community. But I just spoke on how like when you're in these seasons, sometimes you just don't feel like doing it. But it can definitely hurt you more than helping you to isolate in these times. So I'm just trying to keep that in the back of my mind, but also like giving myself grace for when I really just don't want to socialize. I don't want to go out and make new friends. I don't want to do it. Okay. And that's fine. But, I am pushing myself to be more open and to, embrace where I'm at and to shift up the perspective, I guess. But yeah, surrounding yourself with supportive people online or offline. And like that includes like watching a video like this, being in spaces online that are uplifting and that are pushing you to grow and evolve and look after yourself. I feel like that is a great way to start if you feel like you don't have the most supportive communities in real life. You can lean into those type of communities online, and that's why I'm so passionate about like building one and growing this community on here so that I can create a space like that and people can feel welcome to join a space like that where, this is a space for you to really get in touch with who you are and reclaim your independence and step into the person that you want to be and step into a person that is loving their life and feels fulfilled by their life. That's the kind of space that I'm trying to cultivate here, and I want people to feel welcome to come into this space and work on themselves and become happier and find all the things that they want to find in their life. And I know someone out there is probably like, you are not a project girl. You don't need to keep working on yourself and this and that. Okay, that's great. But like, there's things I want to work on and I'm going to work on them, okay? Personal growth girlies get it, okay? We just like focusing on things, and I'm not going to apologize for that. Like, I used to feel bad about that. I've had people in my life who said, like, you're so hell-bent on personal growth. Well, at least I'm not stuck being the same person that I'm not happy with, okay? So I'd rather be hell-bent on personal growth than staying miserable in who I am and not doing anything about it to be happier and more fulfilled in my life. So if that makes me obsessed with personal growth, then so be it. Okay, the next thing is romanticize the season you're in. And this is definitely something I've been leaning into. Sorry, I keep going off on tangents, but like maybe that's the point of this because, okay, I'm just sharing what I'm doing and what's helping me through this season, even though like I'm still figuring it out, okay, guys? But the next thing is romanticizing the season that you're in. And I've definitely been doing this to the best of my ability. It is so hard to do this when you are just wanting to be out of this limbo phase, this friggin' transition phase that just feels like it's never ending. You just want to be on the other side of it, right? And on one of my Monday Mindies, I talked about this. I don't know which one it is. I don't even know if it's gone live yet, but I spoke on how, I'm so quick to want to get through the messiness. And I have to learn to just sit with it. Like, this is where I'm at. We might as well enjoy it while we're here, like to the best of our ability. Okay. Like, cause some days you just want to cry in bed and some days I'm gonna just cry in bed and eat tacos. But there's some days where I'm just like, I'm feeling up to romanticizing my life today. Like when I went down and had a little beach day and I painted on the beach and it was so nice, or my little journaling session, or taking myself on a day trip. Like there are days where I'm leaning into romanticizing my life, and it doesn't have to be an everyday thing. I think that it's just as powerful by sprinkling it in every now and then. So yeah, just finding little ways that you can romanticize the everyday moments in your life, while you're still working towards and taking the one foot in front of the other approach to get to the other side of this transition. Then there was a little reminder and it said, uncertainty doesn't mean that you're lost. It just means that you're in the middle of transformation.
Maybe I'm lost and in the middle of transformation, chat.
Maybe I am, because I feel like I'm floating at sea, okay? I hope that some of these have helped or given you ideas of what you can do in your life if you are in one of these kind of seasons. And if you are, just know that you're not alone. Know that like we are out here on the struggle bus together, okay? And that bus has a destination and we will arrive there at some point. I don't know. They haven't told me what stop to get off. So I'm just sitting here on the bus like, are we there yet? But I am doing my best to sit back and enjoy the view as we get to our destination. Easier said than done, but we are work in progress. We are working on it. We don't have it all figured out. We are just sharing what we're learning and what's helping us along the way. And that is what this channel is all about. But just remember that this transitional phase, it is a season, and seasons pass. So better days are ahead for you and me both, my friend. I am rooting for you, and I am wishing you the best. Thank you so much for watching. Consider subscribing, and I hope to see you tuning in to another video soon. Bye. Honestly, I've never done a full sit down video with this microphone. And I'll tell you what, my arm hurts after all that.